Hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I've been magic finding in Bog, the entire league, basically, for when I need any uniques or need currency, or how I generate silver coins. This video exists thanks to this dude's comment. If you have something you want me to make a video on that you can't just fucking Google, I could do that for you. If it's something you can Google, like what does a walrus's cock look like? You could figure that out yourself, but I could help you with path things. Anyway, let's get into the details. So, Bog is where I MF, magic finding, the terminology. I do it in Bog for a few reasons. The main reason is it's a low tier map, so I can run it at low tiers with either 1 being tier 3 or 1 voidstone being tier 6. Tier 6 is good because that means the monsters are level 73. So when you kill a rare unique, they become 75, so they can drop things like Headhunter or Mage Blood. Now, some of the things I've magic finded, this is not one of them. This league is like this sort of stuff. There's more things, but this is like some of the more rare stuff, like Voltaxix tier 0, like Headhunter, Mage Blood, so is Bloodseeker. A lot of just like good uniques, a lot of jewels. I've pretty much found, I would say, 90% of the uniques, maybe 95% of the uniques that can drop in the game, I probably found already. So it's really easy. And there's like 2 modalities for how you run that. You have your low investment, and then you have your high investment. Okay, so a low investment map is a map that is sub, we'll say 90 quantity. And with those, you just turn on stream of consciousness. You don't put any investment into the map itself, so no fragments, no scarabs, no sextants. You just run it and use that to gather resources for your subsequent maps. Then you have high investment maps, and that's any map where you have it, I'll say 100 quantity or 95 quantity and higher. These are worth investing in. These sort of maps you'll put on scarabs, so you make sure stream of consciousness is off, so you can put on fragments. I put on things like Gilded Reliquary, whatever targeted content you're farming to generate more monsters. So for me it's Breach. Other good ones are Legion and Abyss and Harbinger. I have Harbinger as well. Then if you have extra space, you can put in either Sacrifice or Mortal Fragments. These grant quantity, so these are also very good, as well as Sextants. Now, even if you're doing tier 6 map with 1 stone, you could put in all 4 stones and put on Sextants. You're just looking for Sextants that grant you more things to kill. I'm not too picky. Like, I don't want barrels, right? Because that doesn't really help me too much, but anything like a shrine, sure, that's more mobs to kill. Traders is more mobs, Possessed is good, and then, Exiles are good as well. The passive tree for me looks like this. I have it set up with a lot of Breach, and then Ghosted Exiles, and then the entire top umbrella and quantity. You get this, so it gives you more map modifiers, which is more quant and pack size. Quantity, rarity, Ghosted Exiles, a little loot pinatas, and again I picked Breach as my mechanic I'm focusing right now. But you could pick up, if you want, basically the spawn chance for Breach, Abyss, Legion, Harbinger, and for gear in the build you pick, really any build can magic find. You just have to meet the bare minimum, and that is, can I basically kill within 2 to 3 seconds whatever I'm fighting? Can I survive, meaning is my res still capped? As long as you could do those 2 things, you just want to stack on as much quantity as possible. So for me, I'm running 2 okay Ventors, Bisco's Leash, Goldworm Boots. These are the most important, honestly. This is a lot of quantity right here. If you could swing someone an amulet, that's fantastic. It's a little tricky for me. And you could also run the item rarity support gem in your 6 link and have a gold flask with a triggered effect. Meaning when you hit a rare unique, it triggers. As long as you kill them within the 4.5 seconds, you get that extra benefit. But you can get, like 1,000 uniques per map if you have a Winged Reliquary Scarab and it hits the Ruckus proc for more Exiles. So there's no shortage of goodies. A couple things we're fishing for. One of them is Ruckus, 8% chance to get 20 Exiles, of which half of them are going to double anyway. And then Unrelenting Torment to proc a bunch of ghosts around your boss. And again, we're picking Bog because Bog has a boss, Skullbeak, that when you pop the little nests walking up to it, it gives it a quantity bonus. So the things I invest on when I'm doing a high investment map is I put Breach on, or whatever mechanic you choose, Legion, Harbinger, etc. I put on a Scarabs for uniques, Harbinger, Breach, a little bit of quantity, toss on the map I want, okay? And we have on some Sextants. We have all the things we want. This is like a nice juiced map. And now we're just hoping for the 8% from Ruckus to spawn. You could tell kind of right away. You'll see a bunch of icons in the map. I don't see them. Probably didn't proc. So at this point, we just kind of clear out the map. And again, as long as you could pretty much one-shot, that would have been so good for the video if that was a headhunter. You could pretty much one-shot as you're walking around. And these maps are used as this. You know, maybe you could run a map like this, a high investment map, every 5 or 10 maps, and that's totally fine. Here's an Exile. Yep, good amount of loot off of there. Yeah, looking for all the good stuff just to kill. Harbinger's good, gives a lot of rares. Having a good filter is also very helpful for this because you're going to drop a lot of uniques. My shit's heavily filtered. If you hold Alt, you can see what's on the ground, just for context. I still show all uniques because I like to see them, but I do have them tiered. Breach as a mechanic spawns a lot of rares and give all the investment, which, you know, the more rares that here, the more rares that drop uniques, more loot you get. You're not always going to have scarabs for, like, reliquary, and you're not always going to have scarabs for, like, you know, mechanics you can run. But, that's why you have, like, high investment and low investment and kind of fluctuate between them. Hey, Chayula, nice. Hey, Voidborn Reliquary Key. Yeah, having high quantity is really good in this league mechanic. You get a lot of silver coins doing this, you know, which just feels good. It can be kind of hard to loot, honestly. I typically, like, clear an area. Then if I don't get attacked for a little bit, I'll, like, go in to loot. Oh, God, Reliquish Boots, very nice. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of proving my point here. Like, magic finding in a tier 6 map is totally okay. You know, you're going to get... I probably, if I did this for, like, an hour or two, I'm hitting a tier 1 unique, a tier 2 unique with, like, really mid-investment. Even just Alk and Go mapping with the sort of investment, it will get you there. You just, yeah. And it's also, like, not hard to get the uniques to start this, right? Like, Biscos, Ventors, and Gold Rim, you'll get just by doing the Atlas setup and running that. Basic magic finding is something, realistically, you have to do. If you're playing solo self-found, I don't use the word seriously, but seriously every league, you kind of have to MF unless the league mechanic somehow is shitting out uniques at a ridiculous rate that doesn't scale for quantity or rarity. But this level of investment is honestly pretty enjoyable. It's a very chill experience. I'm not obviously pumping any content that's really difficult. This is just casually walking around, tapping a right click. And again, there's no shortage of built boots. I saw Bootstrap. No shortage of builds that can do this. So just to show you like what sort of builds can magic find, or one people that are magic finding on, we just put in like Ventors, Goldworm, Aesthetic, Bisco's Leash, Tornado Shot, Lightning Arrow, Chili Ballista, Light Validating Arrow. It's a lot of bow builds. Corrupting Fever. You can see which ones people like to do. So there's a basic magic find setup. Really, nothing about this is particularly expensive. You could start the basis of this in League. This next guy's going to be a bow build too. So he's doing Caustic Arrow, okay, with Death's Oath for AoE clear, and then he has Caustic Arrow for single target. Also, totally fine. He just wants to be an occultist for the pop. Again, you don't have to have Flesh and Flame or that sort of fancy shit, but, you know, Inspired Learning is nice. A basic Death's Oath setup with Caustic Arrow is nice. Yeah, so there's like a variety of builds that could do it. The basis is the same. This guy's Corrupting Fever. I'm playing Impending Doom for mine. You just, you know, want to put as much quantity and rarity in as possible, as long as you could kill shit, you know, and then you're pretty much good to go. Let's find one more dude. Spectral Shield Throw. We got a Raider, I think. Yep. SST Raider. So he's using a white weapon for his aesthetic amulet to get that extra rarity, and the magic helmet for the quantity. You could still have, like on his magic helmet, you can still have an enchant, you can still have Eater and Exarch, and then just have on the rarity craft, so pretty minimal investment. Alright, so we get an idea of people who are doing it day 2 in Trade League even. If you want to see someone with a more basic setup, you can check out these day 2 guys. Like, there truly is nothing fancy about what we're looking at right here, and it is easy to get started. Probably 1 to 2 divine, and you'll start printing money as you do your little tier 1 maps, so very accessible. This map was like a pretty normal scenario. Nothing outlandish has occurred for drops or for loot. This is all like within a standard kind of situation for this amount of investment. Like, you're probably going to see a tier 1 unique every couple of these invested maps. you're probably going to get, you know, a good amount of currency, a good amount of loot. Things like Voidborn Reliquary Keys happen 1 every 5-10 of these maps. Raw Divine drops aren't going to happen too much, from my experience. You'll get like 1 or 2 or 3 a day, but nothing compared to like just doing the League mechanic. If you're doing Ancestors, you'll get way more raw currency. This is more just for actual uniques, which is why I recommend it typically for solo self-found versus doing, you know, just for raw currency. You're not going to get as much. This is more just for unique farming. Here we're hoping for ghosts around the boss. I don't hear them, so they're probably not there. Alright, that's fine. Even without ghosts, these 2 bosses will probably drop 5 to 10 uniques each on average. Yep. And yeah, pretty standard. No Headhunter, no Mage Blood. That's pretty much what you'd expect. If I hold Alt, you can see the loot in the ground. It'll go almost off screen. What the nests do is they just increase the quantity of the bosses, so these bosses specifically will have way more loot than your average map boss, with about 0 added difficulty when doing them on a tier 3 or a tier 6 map. So basically it's just free juice, and there's no reason not to do it on Bog. And Bog's a pretty good map. Open, big open map, no real good div cards. But, you know, it's a big open map. Let's check out what our Voidborn Reliquary Key is. That's actually a really nice Ventor's. Holy shit, all positive res, 728. Basically better than my right one. All right, let's see what we got over here. What trash will you bestow upon us now, game? And Gold Rim. Oh, boy. You couldn't live with your build's failure. Where did that bring you? Right back here to me. Yeah, well, I am going to leave this on the ground here, so suck nut. Alright, so you just saw like a high investment or a mid to high investment map with the League, with the Bog MFing. Let me show you just like what a normal map looks like. I have no vals, right? I have no maps that are 100 quantity. You could probably do an 88, but that's beside the point. So I'm just going to take off my stones here. You know, leave on the 1 stone I have, and then we're just going to run it like normal. This is the scenario where I run these maps. You know, this is my everyday kind of map. So every 5 or 10 maps I could do one of the ones with investment. It's the one with no to little investment. But you're still going to see uniques. You're still going to get loot. It's just going to be less. And again, if Ruckus procs, the 20 plus Exile thing, or if the Ghost proc around the boss, you're going to see still a good chunk of loot from that. You can put like things like Alva on for additional loot if you want to. I don't, but you can. You could add as much amount of magic find gear, so rarity quantity gear, as your build can handle. Totally preference. Typically don't recommend blocking any mechanics. So even if they're shit versions of whatever, you know, just do all the mechanics in the map. As magic finding, even, you know, things like harvest mobs, which don't have really high IQ IR inherently. I still recommend killing them. We got a ghost. Typically, you gotta kind of play a little bit safe and not go around off-screening, because you want those ghosts to go inside those rares, you know, those unique mobs. Otherwise, you won't get you know, the benefit of the juice per se. Nope, nothing here. No bodyguard exiles, no ghosts. Normal boss. Dropped a couple uniques. You can see everything was converted to rare, so we have enough rarity on our gear to convert all the magic items to rares. Just couldn't push through to the next stage, making them all uniques. Alright, so that's it. So we're in and out like in 5 minutes. Didn't get anything to proc. Didn't really get anything to drop. Let's do another map and send it back. The kind of rebuilding maps should be pretty quick. You really shouldn't be there for more than like 4 or 5 minutes. Unless like everything went right. So here's a Delirium. Yeah, if you got Delirium on you, I recommend going to the boss. Making sure you can get to him before Delirium ends. Any amount of additional juice you can get to while doing Beak Boy is good. Oh, here we go. We got some ghosts in there. One of them has, I think, 4 or 5 ghosts. It'll probably kill me. It'll probably kill you too. But there you go. That's a good representation. So this is what, with the ghosts, but with no map investment, you can still get pretty juicy piles. So that's a 10% chance that all of your like I was called shit maps will give you a nice little boom, you know, which is very welcome. So 10% of the time that's going to happen. 10% of the time you're going to get exiles to spawn in mass. So you can still kind of eke out some value there. Nothing, I don't think, of note. But, you know, oh, there's some gold worms. If you were just starting out, there's a pair of those. But yeah, so this is just kind of how it looks for the normal tier maps. Duck, free me! Oh no, it's a homeless ghost. Goodbye, friend. The one currency you're going to be bottlenecked on more than anything else is literally going to be Val Orbs. You're going to want Val Orbs more than anything else, because when you invest in maps, you know, as much as you can invest in them. So if you have a delirium orb, sure, put it on. But we're just qualitying them with chisels, tossing a Val, sad, and hoping it goes 8 mod, right? Because that's the best chance you get of getting maps over 100 quantity. Val orbs will be your bottleneck more than anything else. It's just that's why you don't typically invest, because you'll probably find 100 plus quant maps at the same ratio you find Reliquary Scarabs, same ratio you find Torment Scarabs, same ratio you might be getting Breach Scarabs or Harbinger Scarabs. So it's pretty a-okay to just like blow through maps until you get those nice juicy ones. That being said, you can just alch maps that are over 100 quant. It's totally possible. Really, anything over 90 quant is good enough. There's a 94, there's a 104, so both those maps are totally worth sending. You want to also make sure your build can run all map mods. Like this one's no regen. Some people struggle with that. I do not struggle with that, so that is fine for me. So I could do that no problem. Here again is our level of investment. Reliquary Scarab, Torment Scarab, Harbinger Scarab, Breach Scarab. If you want, you could swap out these middle 2 ones for whatever mechanics you're focusing on. I have my Sextants in with whatever, you know, juice on them. Got my map in, got my craft on, and most importantly, pop off Stream of Consciousness. Tossing in the Bog, hoping for Ruckus, hoping for Unrelenting Torment. We want our Exiles, we want our Ghosts to spawn. We want all that good stuff, because if you do, it's a loot pinata. I don't see any symbols, so probably don't have Ghosts. But, yeah, that's, you know, just to show one mob there. One mob go boom. That was just an Exile right there. Show me the loot, Skullbeak. Garbage. I was impatient. You gotta wait for the Ghost to go inside, because I could have gone inside that guy right there. I would have gotten more loot. Yeah, try not to off-screen. It's very tricky, but you gotta try. Hey, fracturing shards. I think those are pretty expensive on trade, huh? I accept. Pop. Alright, so that map was pretty okay. Didn't get anything special for uniques. Just got a bunch of stuff, that's good. Did get some more Val orbs, so I could Val these maps that I had that are quality, but weren't like quite 90%. Probably keep that one. There we go, we got a keeper. And that one's okay. So a couple noteworthy recipes, just for those who are looking to invest in scarabs but don't really have too many. One we talked about briefly is that you could do for 30, and this can go up a stack to 10 scarabs, you could change what they become. There you go, there's a Breach Scarab. I typically want to do them in stacks of 10 so you can change them all into like one bulk of the thing. An alternative way to do it, which is much less efficient but also does work, is you could 2 to 1 out with 1 horizon per 2 gilded. Will give you another random gilded. So you're losing a scarab there, but you are still swapping if you're not into harvest. That's a route as well. Reliquaries are the premium, for sure. Alright, let's do the one more map just for the video. Breach, Harbinger, Reliquary, Torment. There's our nice little bog. There's our Breach on. We got some scarabs on. Unrelenting is off. Or, sorry, Stream is off. Hopefully we could proc some Exiles here. Don't think we did. That's okay. Still no shortage of loot on the way. Oh, there's a Calm's Heart. Don't particularly need that at the moment. Nice little pair of Vixens. That's always good. Oh, a couple ghosts, huh? Anyone want to go inside a fucking rare? No? Yeah, this lag is expected. That's what happens when you juice too hard. Alright, boss time. No ghosts, unfortunately, but still should get some nice loot. We got poop. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't think there's not much more really to talk about with this than what I'm doing. Again, if you want to invest in the map, you take off Stream, put in some scarabs and do sextants and stuff like that when it's like above like 90 quantity basically. That's worth investing into. If not, and it looks more like these kind of maps, you know, you just run them with Stream on, recoup, hope to get a Val Orb, hope to get some chisels, toss them on, and you're good to go. But pretty much only, you know, low investment and then high investment. Rare uniques you want to get, it's just a matter of time. You just got to keep plugging away. But yeah, that's what I do when I'm not in the league mechanic. Gets me plenty of silver coins as well. You want to get your mage bloods, your headhunters, you know, desirable things like these Ralakesh boots in league. This is a good way to do it. Get yourself some T0s, even if they're shit. But yeah, I'm Matt Lighty. This has been how I pretty much do basic magic finding. So enjoy life in the bog. I'll catch you on the flip-flop. Lighty out.